Welcome back to the Brick Breakdown. I'm Matt Brick, your host. We just had week 5 in the NFL, and we're going to talk about it right now. Let's start with the news. Unfortunately, there were a lot of injuries this past week. Very frustrating as a fan of football, and I really hope players are going to be able to recover quickly. Starting off with Justin Jefferson. He was put on IR with a hamstring injury. The earliest we'll be able to see him back is week 10. So if you have Justin Jefferson in your fantasy football league, I can see how you can be very upset. But for now, Jefferson will be rehabilitating and trying to get back. Devin Achan also hurt his knee and was put on IR today. The earliest he'll be back is week 11 because the Dolphins have a bye week. So hopefully he'll be able to come back. He's on my fantasy team, but it's not really about fantasy football. It's really about him as a person. All these players, they're still people, and I wish them the best of luck in their recovery. James Conner, he also went on IR. Very frustrating to see. Elijah Vera Tucker ruptured his Achilles week 5. Anthony Richardson suffered an AC joint sprain and was put on IR today. Earliest he'll be back is week 10. Emmanuel Mosley, who tore his ACL in week 5 last year. His left ACL week 5 last year, tore his right ACL in week 5 of this year. He just can't get a break, unfortunately. And very frustrating. I really hope he'll be able to come back next year stronger than ever. Austin Eckler said that he will be back for week 6, so that's exciting. And Van Jefferson, the wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams, was traded to the Falcons. They swapped 2025 6th and 7th round picks. That's basically it for the news. We now have time to review what happened this past week in week 5. And we will start with Thursday Night Football, where the Bears played the Commanders. The Bears won 40-20. The Commanders definitely had a chance in coming back, but was not aggressive enough, in my opinion, on 4th down. I feel like Ron Rivera, very conservative towards the ending of that game, and I think had they have gone for it a couple more times, they may have came back. But also, DJ Moore went off in that game. He had 3 touchdowns. He really should have had 4 because he did not step out of bounds. And they didn't even talk about it on the broadcast, which I don't understand why they did that. They knew they screwed up, I guess, but it should have been talked about because he didn't step out. It was the Bears' first win in 347 days, so congratulations to Chicago Bears fans. A drought is done with, and hopefully they can keep doing their best. The Bills got outplayed by the Jags in London after a huge win against the Dolphins. Yeah, that was a game that I turned on at the start of the third quarter, I think, and I was kind of shocked to see that the Jags were winning the game. The Bills, they kept trying, and it just seemed like they just kept getting stalled on offense and wasn't able to convert, and Josh Allen throwing picks wasn't helping. Unfortunately, the run game wasn't really there for them, so I think that was a main reason why they didn't play their best in London. The Colts found a way to win without Anthony Richardson at quarterback. That was during the witching hour part of Red Zone. If you don't watch Red Zone, then you should find a way to watch Red Zone, because it is the best way to watch football on Sunday. But during the witching hour, for those who don't know, the witching hour is when it's probably like, halfway through the fourth quarter, and teams are coming back and teams are blowing it. And to me, there were like 3 games during the witching hour that happened, and the Colts was one of them. They found a way to win against the Titans. I thought the Titans were both teams. I knew that game was going to be close. I know I picked the Titans last week, but I said I would not be shocked if the Colts win, and they did. I thought that both coaches were really aggressive in the game. I think the Titans may have been too aggressive on fourth down. I think that may have cost them the game. But talking about the witching hour, that was definitely one of them, the Colts winning. The Steelers rallied back against the Ravens towards the end of that game to find a win. And I believe it was the Falcons that won by a field goal at the end of the Texans-Falcons game. So that was a pretty cool witching hour on Red Zone last weekend. And I'm sure there'll be more craziness to come. But yeah, the Titans, I think both teams played a good game. It's just really aggressive coaching. The Patriots looked absolutely horrible, losing 34-0 against the Saints. And I picked the Patriots last week because I thought the Saints did not look that great against Tampa. And boy, was I wrong. And I'm okay with that. I'll take that L. Like I said, the Steelers rallied. Matt Canada survives another week. The offense has been stagnant. I don't know if they'll be able to fire him soon. Maybe they will. I guess we'll see. That's what the Steelers fans seem to want. So we'll keep an eye on that. The Panthers still haven't won a game. This is a normal thing, in my opinion, when you trade all your assets, including DJ Moore, for a number one pick, a.k.a. Bryce Young. And this is what you're going to have to go through when you do that. You're 0-5, and it's just like, okay. To me, it's like, all right, I guess we're going to play for more draft picks because, we're at that point in the season where it's like, how many wins are you going to have? And to me, the Panthers aren't going to have a lot of wins. At the same time, the Panthers don't have – I don't know how many picks the Panthers have because I know they traded the one to the Bears. So I don't know if they have a first-round pick. If that's the case, that's not good. But I don't think they do. So yeah, that's what that is. The Lions beat them. They looked great even without their star wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So yeah, the Lions, don't sleep on the Lions. They're playing great football. The Dolphins bounced back after a loss of the Bills last week. They played the New York Giants. Yes, it was like the best offense against like the worst defense or something like that, or best offense and worst offense, something like that. And it showed. The Dolphins they're a great offense right now, and Tua's on his way to possibly breaking the passing record, which would be insane. I said it on this podcast in the offseason. It's Tua's season. People doubted Tua this offseason for sure because they just thought he was made an injury concern, which, yeah, and that was a valid point, but no one gave him enough credit into how talented he really is, and I think that he deserves a lot more credit right now because he's proven the doubters wrong. That's for sure. The Eagles, my Eagles, push their way into another victory while Cooper Kupp looked like he did not miss a beat. It was his first time back since last year, I believe. Yeah, so he did very well. He looked great. Didn't see anything wrong with him. He looked completely 100%. So good to see him back with the Rams. The Bengals finally bounced back against the Arizona Cardinals. Jamar Chase had 3 touchdowns, I believe. Maybe it was 2. I have him on my fantasy team, so I was happy about that. But it's good to see that Joe Burrow was playing like Joe Burrow, and they were able to win the football game. So hopefully that continues for them. Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets, finally got his revenge against Sean Payton for talking smack this offseason. The Jets beat the Broncos, but alas, unfortunately, they lost Elijah Vera Tucker with the Achilles injury, like I said earlier. So hopefully the Jets figure something out. They did bring in Lil Collins, the free agent, in for a tryout, but the Giants did as well. So both New York teams are trying to get him. I guess we'll see where that goes. The Vikings lost to the Chiefs, which is not surprising. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, even though I am. But what I thought was interesting was that a player, I don't know if it was Snead or not, but the player took his helmet off after a play, and you're really not supposed to do that, and didn't get called for anything. And I feel like at this point, it's just ridiculous because any other team in the NFL would get flagged for that. The Chiefs, of course, they won't because they're the defending champions and they are the new dynasty and have a legacy to defend. So we'll continue on. Sunday Night Football. The 49ers absolutely embarrassed the Dallas Cowboys again. Dak had 3 picks in that game, and it looks like there's just a lot of animosity between these two teams now because now the 49ers have basically owned the Cowboys, not only in the playoffs, but now in the regular season. Would like to see them play again. I think that would be fun to watch. But, yeah, very exciting. Monday Night Football, the Packers and Raiders. It was the Carlson Bowl. Both brothers kicked for opposite teams, which was, I guess, kind of interesting. I think Adam Schefter, it was the first time since 1985 since that happened, which is wild. I thought the game was pretty boring, to be honest with you. I don't think each teams are that exciting to watch. Yes, there was no Aaron Jones, but A.J. Dillon seemed to be cooking. I don't know. I just think both teams are just kind of average. Yes, the Packers, I think, are second in the division. I could look that up, but I'm pretty positive that's true. But, hey, the Raiders won, and they came out on top. Now, I mean, I can talk about fantasy for just a couple seconds here, but basically this past weekend, out of my 3 leagues, I won in 2 of them. Unfortunately, I lost in my Dynasty League because I started Dak Prescott. I had Geno Smith on a bye. Kenny Pickett was hurt with the bone bruise. Didn't feel comfortable playing him against the Ravens. I think that was the right move. And I also have Stetson Bennett, but that was the main reason why I lost. I only lost by like 15 or so, which is disappointing. But I can only keep going from here. It's still early. I think after this week, we're really in the thick of it. This is week 6. Week 5 is like, yep, okay, we're back to playing great football. Week 6 is like, yep, this is it. This is what the year's going to start to look like, and I think we're going to see that unfold this next week. Let's go into the Week 6 predictions. The Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, congratulations. You don't have to worry about anything this week because guess what? You're not playing. You're on your bye week. Let's see. So far on my week-to-week picks, I am 45-33, which isn't phenomenal, but hey, it's not that bad. Let's start it out. So tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, the Denver Broncos go to Kansas City and play the Chiefs. Will Taylor Swift be there? Who knows? Who cares? The Swifties. I think everyone is starting to get sick of it. I love Taylor Swift. I am a Swiftie, but the coverage has just been a lot. There was no coverage last week, which I thought was interesting, but knowing that she's been there two primetime games. Will she be there tomorrow night? I have a feeling she will be. That's just my guess. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game. With Taylor Swift there or not, I just think that they will dominate against the Broncos. The Broncos don't really look that great, so I'm going with the Chiefs. The Ravens, Titans in London. This is the last London game, but then I think we have a Germany game coming later in the season. But this is the last London game, to my understanding. I'm taking the Ravens. They just lost to the Steelers when they kind of just choked. I think they're going to come back strong and bounce back next week in London. The Washington Commanders play in Atlanta against the Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons. The Commanders' defense just is not it right now. Emmanuel Forbes, the rookie, got benched last week on Thursday Night Football against the Bears, which is understandable because he just was getting burnt. But I'm going with the Falcons. They're winning football games, so I'm going with them. The Vikings are in Chicago at the Bears. I'm going with the Vikings. Yes, I know that they do not have Justin Jefferson, but I just have a feeling that they still have weapons. I mean, you still have Jordan Addison, the rookie, TJ Hawkinson, their tight end, and you still have KJ Osborne. I'm sure. I bet you. I think they still have N'Keal Harry. I think that's right. I could be wrong. I don't remember, but I just think that the Bears defense still looks shaky, even though they won 40-20 against the Commanders. I still think that the Vikings can find a way to win against the Bears. The Seahawks are in Cincinnati against the Bengals. I'm going to go with the Bengals there. I think they're going to. Yes, the Seahawks were off last week. They were off. They are off a bye, so would not be surprised if the Seahawks win this game because they are extra prepared. But I think that this Burrow and Chase connection is going to continue to thrive, and I'm going to take the Bengals. The 49ers are in Cleveland at the Browns. I'm going to go with the 49ers, and yes, that's another bye game. The Browns did not play last week. I'm not sure if Deshaun Watson will play because I know he's been hurt. Regardless if he plays or not, the San Francisco 49ers defense is legit, and I think they will continue to win football games. The Panthers are in Miami against the Dolphins. I think it's to a season. Dolphins are in prime form. Panthers haven't won a game yet, and I just don't see how the Panthers are going to be able to overcome Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So I'm picking the Dolphins. The Colts are at Jacksonville against the Jags. I'm going with the Jags. That'll be a tough game because they are divisional rivals. They normally play tough against each other. I'm going with the Jags because I just feel like they're playing really well right now. They just went 2-0 in London and just beat the Bills. So I think they're going to have enough power to beat the Colts, especially without Anthony Richardson. The Saints are in Houston against the Texans. I'm going to go with the Saints here. I will say that I'm very impressed with CJ Stroud so far. He's just broke the record on passing attempts without throwing an interception, which is wild. Congrats to him. Unfortunately, they fell short last week, but I think that the Saints will be able to overcome the Texans in Houston. The Patriots play the Raiders in Las Vegas. This is an interesting game because it is Bill Belichick against his former offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. I'm taking the Raiders here just because I think the Patriots aren't playing that great right now. I don't think it's Mac Jones' fault. I think some of it – I don't think all of it's Mac Jones' fault. I think there is some to blame on him. However, his offensive line just isn't doing great. And not only that, but his wide receiver core is horrible. Garbage. They're just not catching footballs. I remember reading this offseason that someone said that this might be the worst wide receiver core of all time, which if that it might be. They're not good. When you're throwing to guys like Kendrick Bourne and who else? Juju, who hasn't done anything. I get it. I don't think they're playing that great football right now, and that's why I'm taking the Raiders. The Lions are in Tampa Bay against the Bucks. The Bucks did just have a bye. They have an extra prepared. This will be a great game in my opinion. I don't think it'll be easy, but I think the Lions will be able to come out on top. The Lions are playing great football right now. They're hot, and I think they're just gonna overcome the Bucks. Simple as that. The Cardinals are at the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams will win. I'm taking the Rams. They just lost to my Eagles. Cardinals aren't playing great football, which is, projected this season. Still no Kyler Murray, to my understanding. This is, again, another divisional game, so it will be it'll be close. It'll probably be close because they normally play tough against each other. They know each other well. But I'm still going to go with the Rams. My Philadelphia Eagles are in New York against the New York Jets. I'm taking my Eagles. The Jets, Zach Wilson without another offensive lineman is just going to be tough for him. Jalen Carter is just going to eat, and it's going to be tough for that offensive line. The New York Giants are in Buffalo on Sunday Night Football. I just read that Daniel Jones and Darren Waller, a bunch of linemen, did not practice today, so that's a little scary. Daniel Jones has been sacked so many times this year. I think it's I don't know. I think Sam Howell is the one projected to be 99 sacks, but which is crazy. But Daniel Jones has been sacked a good amount, which is not great. And after losing to the Jags in London last week, the Bills are going to 1,000% bounce back on Sunday Night Football at home. So I'm going to take the Bills. And on Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys play the Los Angeles Chargers in LA. I'm going with the Chargers here. That might be a hot take, but the Chargers were just on a bye. I think they're extra prepared. Dallas didn't really look that great against the 49ers defense. Dak did throw 3 picks. I know that the Chargers defense isn't as great as the 49ers defense, but I just think that with an extra week to prepare, and especially watching that game last Sunday night, I think the Chargers are I just think that the Chargers offensively may be able to overcome the Dallas defense. That's going to be it for me today. We're going to end it with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "The smallest deed is better than the greatest intention." John Burroughs. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Please like, subscribe, review, leave a review, comment what you think is going to happen week 6. Comment anything that you thought was crazy during week 5. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.